Branding and ego. This is fascinating. I recently read a book by Eckhart Tolle, and it's titled New Earth. And I was reading this book, for its main purpose, which is to be a self-help book and getting a little perspective on being a little more spiritual. But as I was reading this, I was thinking, this book is a marketer's instruction manual on how the mind works. It's unbelievable. I mean, this author has nailed it in terms of understanding human nature in the consumer culture we live in today. And not even mentioning consumer culture, just, you can read between the lines and what he's saying. What I found was profound about branding and this book, for instance, is how brands interact with the ego. Now, ego seems to sit in two places, according to this author, in the future or in the past. And marketers know that. Think about it for a minute. Think about the messaging in advertising. Don't do what you did yesterday because that was painful. Do what you can do tomorrow, which is pleasurable. Either buy our product, use our service, or whatever those things are. That is marketing to the ego. Because people that are ego-less or have less utilization of ego in their lives are more present. They're just more calm. They're not worrying about what's next all the time. I mean, they're not leaving everything, to fate and throwing all caution to the wind. But they are a little less concerned with how to define themselves by future things. Now, today, we've got brands out there that are integral in what kids think that they are. Religion's at an all-time low now. What kids believe in is what the brands that they consume and what they represent. That's how they create their identity. And where we see ego having an interesting mix with branding is this self-definition. Who am I? People don't know who they are these days. And brands are right there to fill in the gaps. They fill that void, especially within younger people. So it's very interesting. You'll watch somebody and they'll go and buy a new car because it makes them feel something. Well, I help them identify who they are, and it helped them think, which is a story in their own head, which is another conversation entirely. They have this idea that if they have this thing, or they have bought a new car, or they go to a new place, and they can talk about it, that they will be perceived a certain way. And that is that self-identification. That means that they really don't have a core meaning of who they are, a core idea of who they are. They need these things in order to project an identity to the people around them. So ego is always trying to define itself. And the marketers know that. So I think that this self-definition element of how companies use that to their advantage is an extremely powerful tool to be able to further develop a company. So branding and ego, I suggest if any marketers out there, pick up that book and start understanding self-definition is where brands can excel, and where that sweet spot is between connecting and communicating with the market.